Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this evening or afternoon, stateside, we're joined by Heather Klemanski, who is a mindfulness and self-compassion facilitator based in Newark, Delaware, in the US of A. And how are you doing today, Heather? You okay?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
No problem at all. Thank you for coming on my podcast and sharing a little bit about who you are and what you do. Now, just to give a little bit of background to how we met, we've actually met on the sort of insanely addictive app, social media, Clubhouse, where I think Heather Klemanski, in her dazed addiction, joined one of my conversations one day about the addiction of Clubhouse and why nobody really cares, because the addiction is an addiction to help and serve and connect and learn. And that's what we all want to do, especially in this pandemic time. So thank you for coming on my podcast and sharing a little bit about who you are and what you do. So I actually can't remember who you are and what you do. I apologize for that. But I'm in the Clubhouse fever. I'm meeting so many people, those such fantastic people. It's hard to put any memory to who they are, etc. But tell everyone and myself a little bit about who Heather Klemanski is and what you're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a mindfulness facilitator and self-compassion teacher. And so my mission is really to create self-love and to help people find it. I think it's so important to develop that. And so, by building mindfulness and actions and resilience and kindness for yourself, I believe that you can create an inspired, connected, and meaningful life. And it really starts with yourself by developing these skills within yourself to develop self-love. And so for me, it's just really important to really nurture yourself with love. And so, like you were saying before, this going into Clubhouse, this is a way for me just to connect with people, to share my story of how I found self-love through mindfulness and self-compassion, and just sharing my story has allowed me to connect with others who are finding their way into self-compassion. I really find it is a foundational skill. One of the things that I experienced in my life was a lot of anxiety. And, by starting to practice with mindfulness, it helped me to just really touch into all those emotions that I was feeling, and really just sitting with it, right? And meeting those really negative emotions that came from having a chaotic childhood. And so then I found self-compassion, and that was just meeting myself with kindness during these really challenging times. And so just by being able to do that, I really was able to then start working through some of those deeper traumas that I had in my life from that I experienced from childhood. And so because I found those really important foundational skills, I just feel really called to share them with other people because I know what it's like to be stuck. I know what it's like to feel like, you're stuck in this pain and you don't know your way out. And, if I can help one person with mindfulness and showing them that this is a way to meet yourself and to bring yourself more into the present, because that's what mindfulness is about. And then to give yourself kindness with self-compassion, that just excites me. And, I just feel like it's going to be so fulfilling.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I'm a big fan of mindfulness and meditation. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a reason why. And I'm going to see what your feedback is on my reason why I'm a big fan. And we'll have explore a little bit about mindfulness and meditation then. So at the start of lockdown, I started doing lots and lots of really good things that you should have been doing at the start of lockdown, like keeping fit, eating well, having mindfulness, getting out and exercising, doing lots of random acts of kindness with people, doing lots of targets and goals and achieving. So I went on the real positive sort of trajectory rather than sort of getting negative and being miserable and worrying about the future and all that sort of thing like some people did. Luckily I wasn't affected by anyone affected by the pandemic, which helped. because obviously that is something that you can't really, ignore, if you like. But I was able to ignore it because I wasn't affected by anything, and I just put all of my positive energy into looking after myself and making sure I was as fit and healthy as possible. So that if I did catch the virus, then it wouldn't be as big a risk to me. I've always got a good immune system anyway, but I just thought I'd boost it up. And actually, I was living a really good, balanced life and routine, etc. And what I realized is I was really like in one of the most happiest periods of my life. And so I decided to write down what I was doing differently that was making me super, super happy. And I wrote it all down into sort of like different things. And then I come up with a formula for why you should do this every day to make you happy. So I call it the happiness formula. And it's actually a smart happiness formula, right? Because the words, the big parts of what I was doing was sleep, meditation or mindfulness, ability to perform, which I was doing exercise, hydration, and nutrition, which is a big part of keeping your ability to perform going. I was doing lots of random acts of kindness, and I was doing lots of goal setting, etc., which I was able to put under the umbrella of targets. So basically, I was coming up with a smart formula to make yourself happy. And I want to teach this around the world for the rest of my life because I 100% believe, right, because it was happening to me, so I've lived it. So I was the first test case scenario. And I want to spread this message to as many people as possible and get them to live it too. But I believe if you sleep for 7 to 8 hours a day, if you do at least 30 minutes of either mindfulness or meditation, I think both work equally as well, but there are differences, and I want you to talk about them in a bit. If you actually look after yourself by exercising daily, by having plenty of hydration on board, and having a well-balanced nutritional diet, especially avoiding sugar and salt and white flour, and going for like brown flour if you can have bread, but a well-balanced nutritional meal 3 times a day. And then if you do lots of random acts of kindness, but at least one a day, and you set yourself lots of small, medium, and long-term goals, and actually start achieving them, so hitting the goals and achieving them regularly. And basically, that as a formula on a day-to-day basis will mean that anyone can turn themselves from unhappy to happy, because it's like biologically, scientifically proven that each one of those things alone make you happy, but doing them all together gives you like a super happiness boost. So I wanted your feedback on that because I literally spoke on that today in a keynote speech for the first time. But I created it back in around March, April 2020. And because it's got mindfulness in there and you're a mindfulness coach, I've actually got a friend who's a meditation coach and specialist, and she does hypnosis and that. And she loves my formula as well. I just wanted to get your feedback on what you thought about it.
Yeah, and I think that is amazing. And so as you were speaking, what kept running through my mind was this really touches on resilience, right? And so when we think about resilience, the reason why we want to build resilience is because when we have difficult moments, we want to have something that we have a way to lean to fall back on something, right? So the way to build resilience is by creating connection, by having skills that you have in your toolbox. So if you think about it, what you've created is a formula to build resilience. So by having a sleep pattern that is normalized into 7 to 8 hours, that's regular, you're regulating your sleep pattern. Random act of kindness, you're actually doing something that's kind for someone else, but it's also creating a pattern of a feel-good effect, right? So think about every time that you do something for someone else, you're actually creating kindness for them, but also for yourself, because you're creating a feel-good effect within you that makes you want to do more. So then the other things that you're talking about, like meditation, you're building up the muscle of your brain so that you're building awareness of what's going on in the present moment. So all this leans back into resilience. So it's actually a very important effect that's building by doing this formula. And it's actually something that I teach within my own space. So I have a group that I have that's called Mind Your Mark. And this is what I teach from foundationally. It's called mindfulness, actions, resilience, and kindness. And those are the things that I believe that you can develop to create that inspired, connected, and meaningful life. And when I speak to that, what I mean is these are the things that you're building within your life, the mindfulness. So every time that you meditate, that's the formal practice of bringing awareness to the present moment, so that when you're in a conversation like you and I are having right now, if my mind starts to wander and I'm thinking about, oh, it's 5:30, what am I going to have for dinner? I can bring it back and say, gosh, my mind has drifted away, and I can come back to what you're saying because I've noticed, because I've used my formal practice of meditation to build that skill and come back to what's being said right now, and to notice it without judgment, right? That's part of mindfulness, is not to judge what's happening, and just to say, oh, my mind drifted away. That's normal. That's what our minds do. And then, with actions, like you were talking about earlier, building goals for yourself, having something to drive you forward is so important. But also, what are the habits that you're creating? So, for instance, even like you were saying with sleep, building a habitual sleep pattern that you can turn to every day is going to set a foundation in your life that is so important, because your body then become more attuned to rest and balance, right? And so then with the resilience, as I was talking about that before, resilience is so many different pieces, and it really comes down to, it's this tool that's in your toolbox. So every time that I have a challenging moment, I have something that I can turn to. I have friends that I can call because I have connection. And you're building that through the things that you do, such as every time you go into Clubhouse and you make a connection and you're networking, you're building relationships. That's building resilience. You have someone that you can reach out to if you have a question about something in your life. And then for me, the kindness really extends both ways. And that's something I'm really passionate about. Kindness is really important to give and to receive for yourself. So when I say that, I mean, give it out to the world. How are you impacting the world and giving kindness? And that random acts of kindness that you speak of, so important. But what are you doing to give yourself kindness every day too? How are you treating yourself like you would a friend? And that's that self-compassion that comes in, because when life is difficult, and we all know that there's these times when we have difficult times, right? You then have a resource to give yourself that same compassion and kindness that you would just like a friend.
Yeah, definitely, and that's where the hydration, the nutrition, and the exercise comes in as well, because
Yes,
that is looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, and being kind to your body, and being kind to your internal organs and everything that needs the nutrition. They need the water. You're just feeding it what it needs, and just like you would feed the dog or the cat. In fact, some people look after their dogs and their cats better than they do themselves.
absolutely.
Who
Yeah,
will
absolutely.
who will
And
feed the dog and the cat?
how, I'm
Who,
sorry.
who would feed the dog and the cat if something went wrong? At least they're going to look after themselves first before looking after the dog and the cat and the kids, etc.
Yeah, you may have heard this before, but think about when you're on an airplane, and if there's trouble and the oxygen mask comes down, it's always recommended that you put the oxygen mask on yourself first,
Yeah,
before you help your neighbor. And it's the same of nutrition and hydration and sleep. You need that balance for yourself first before you can help someone else. And if you're not tending to your own needs, then how are you going to help anybody else in your life?
yeah, definitely. So it sounds to me like you cover quite a lot of the areas that I do as well, not just in the mindfulness and the self. Well, I suppose the self compassion bit of what you do, the self care. That is a
Yes.
lot of all of the other areas of my formula, and they all come under that. And obviously, the mindfulness is part of it as well. So it sounds to me that we're teaching people very similar things. And how long have you been doing that for? Because mine's fairly new; it just come to me, but how long have you been in that area yourself?
Yeah, I'm new as well. I've just started within the last few months of getting out there, and I'm really starting to connect with people. So just now getting out there in the world, and so I'm really excited to meet with you and to connect with someone who has such a similar mindset. It's exciting for me.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And it's always good to help each other to grow and to have compound effect and leverage each other's contacts, etc. So, for example, if you're doing any lives in your Facebook group, I'm more than happy to get involved and vice versa. And if you tag me in on any of your content, I'll share it and vice versa. And, there's one of my contacts, you may have seen him. He's quite popular in the rooms in Clubhouse quite a lot. Anil Gupta. He's on with his son. Jay Gupta, and they've both been on my podcast, and they both preach about self-love and mindset and all of that sort of thing. In fact, they both have. So Jay Gupta has worked with Tony Robbins. He's a Tony Robbins coach, a trainer. Anil Gupta has worked with like Richard Branson, Mike Tyson. Tony Robbins, all sorts. So these guys are really well connected, and they. Anil Gupta teaches a happiness formula, same as me. But mine is a different one. His is the 3 Gs, which is growing, giving, and gratitude. Yeah, and as long as if you're feeling down, concentrate on the one out of those 3 buckets that you think is most empty, and fill it up. And if you keep doing that every time, if you keep growing, you keep giving, you keep gratitude, then you'll be happy as well. And I really get that as well. So I love my formula. I love his formula. So, there's 2 formulas that I could give you that you could implement into your group and all of that, and anything that you've got that you want to implement into my groups and my connections, I'm more than happy to, facilitate that and make it happen. If you've got anything you want to promote and add, you can come on my podcast, the YouTube channel. I'm all about helping people. I'm all about, random acts of kindness, planned acts of kindness. I'm all about goal setting. If I help enough people achieve their goals, then they'll help me achieve mine. So, all those sort of things, I'm for it. And I've been using social media for 20 odd years. I got 100 Facebook pages, 50 Facebook groups, 5 Instagram or 6 Instagram accounts, YouTube channel, podcast, 3 TikToks, I think, 3 Pinterest accounts. I'm busy, you know what I mean? And so I don't have all of those things for me. I have them so that I can help lots of other people, really. They're tools that I can use to help market people, to help share them, and all of that. So, I see a start of a great relationship between me and you. I already get on very well with my friend Ashley here, who is, a meditation and she does hypnosis and other stuff as well. But I listened to, she got a video on YouTube, which is like amazing. It's an amazing sort of talk through meditation with a bit of hypnosis in there as well. And the first time I did it, it was in the middle of the afternoon. I fell asleep, and I don't know how long it was for. I haven't got a clue. It just put me out. And then when I woke up, it was the first time I think ever in my life that I woke up and my brain was empty. Yeah, it like completely resets. That's never happened in my life. Normally I wake up and I got something on my mind or just something, and so I really I've sent that video and the link to lots of people who I know need a bit of help with meditation, etc. So if you've got a video where you talk through mindfulness or anything like that, I'm always happy to share. I've got a YouTube channel. It's called the Michael Armstrong YouTube channel, where I basically got playlists. So I'll add all of my connections videos into my playlists. So anyone comes to my channel, they can see all their videos and stuff. So any way that I can help, that's what I'm here to do. I've been an entrepreneur for 32 years. I've been there, seen it. I've got the T-shirt. I know a lot about sales, marketing, social media, leadership. So much. I created a happiness formula, success formula. Just to cover with that, if ever you need any help with success, with growing your business, my stream success formula is systems, technology, relationships, efficiency, action, marketing, and sales. And basically, if you keep concentrating on each of those 7 core pillars, then over time, you can't fail but become successful.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Go on, carry on.
No, I was going to say that sounds amazing. First of all, I'd like to say definitely would love to have you in my group and sharing your happiness formula. I think that that would be amazing to share, and would love to have you and invite you there. So definitely let's schedule some time. I know you're super busy, so love to find out when you have some free time to do that. You know, and just do a live stream in and share that information, because I think it's much needed in this world. And so as many people as we can reach with it, I am on board. So yes, please,
Well,
let's definitely do that.
I'm on a mission.
So
I'm on a mission to spread happiness around the world like a virus. What I'd like to do is as they get rid of coronavirus, we replace it with the happiness virus. So anyone who can help me do that, the better, like, you know. So I've actually got like a PDF which I could give to you, and if ever you need to use it in any way, shape, or form, you know, I don't charge for it. I don't believe happiness should come at a price. It should be given for free, and it's a way of me super 100xing my random acts of kindness just by getting people to have my PDF and spread it around the world. So,
yeah,
so if you want to use it as a tool in anything that you do, or just, you know, just something, some bit of content to talk about or anything like that, I give it to you. You do with it what you want. Spread the message,
yeah.
spread the word. And if you've got anything that you want me to do the same in, I would happily do that as well. And yes, you know, let's help each other to grow, and let's collaborate. And also a friend of mine, John Donnelly, based in Ireland, he runs a business called Your Holistic Academy. It's a basic global platform for anyone in their health and well-being and holistic space. And he's got a load of people who are in the holistic space, who are big into personal development and networking, who you should join and be part of that community.
Yes, would love to. Please send me that information. I think that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
You know,
And
my
also,
mission is, oh, sorry,
well,
really to just, you know, spread self-compassion and self-love. You know, I call myself a self-love advocate because, you know, I think it's important to enrich your life with as much love and, you know, to feel that within yourself. And to, you know, one of the things that I do teach is authentic self-care. You know, I know that often people look at self-care as, you know, maybe taking a bath or getting a massage, but it's really about your emotional and mental health as well. And, you know, ensuring that you're taking care of those things as well. And that's really looking at if your mental state, you know, if you need to rest and to set boundaries in relationships, and, you know, really looking at that. And, you know, I also believe in, you know, making sure that we talk about mental health in a way that makes it normalizes it, because, you know, we're at a place now that therapy is so important, and, you know, it's okay to do that. And so, you know, I speak to that as well, of just saying it's okay that if you need to speak with somebody, that it's perfectly a normalized thing to do that in this day and age. And so, you know, it's just something that I really like to speak to, because, you know, it's not anything that needs to be hidden in the dark any longer.
yeah, definitely. And my podcast is called You Can Do It. And it was
Hmm.
set up to help people with mental health problems. It was originally going to be just a motivational and positivity podcast. But because I got so much information in me, I decided to also make it educational as well. But there's loads of, I was doing every day a morning motivation episode. And then I had some technical issues, and then Clubhouse come along. I'm not doing it every day now. But I still haven't sorted out my technical issues. But once they get sorted, I'll come back to doing it. But I can't always do it in the morning either. So I either do it as a morning motivation or a daily motivation
Yeah.
episode. But I also put all of these chats into the platform as well. And so if you want to share my podcast to your community as well, then there is a lot of positivity, motivation, and education on there as well. And obviously, part of self-care, self-compassion is actually, you know, upskilling yourself, personal development, growing yourself. A lot of what I've learned in a long journey of listening to some of the best personal development practitioners on the planet, I share a lot of that on there as well. So, you know, that's one of the ways I like to self-love, is by educating myself, by growing as an individual, as a person. So that's really, really a good resource as well.
Absolutely.
And actually just listening to, I've had 250 awesome entrepreneurs from around the world on my podcast as well. And actually just filling your own cup up off the optimism, the positivity of those people who are actually just like everyone else, no different, normal everyday people who are making, waves in the world and doing great things, and decided to look at the coronavirus as an opportunity rather than as a crisis. And so, there's plenty of people out there who could benefit from plugging in to that energy and actually, realizing that just normal people just like them decided to make a choice to go the right way rather than a negative choice to go the wrong way. So lots of resources I've got, including the YouTube channel, which has the same top entrepreneurs on it as well. Also, both my podcast and the YouTube have a lot about the happiness formula and the success formula as well. So these resources are available to you and anyone who wants them. And I will make time. I'm very busy, but I will always make time for the right causes. And so if you want to do a live at some point, you let me know when, and I will shuffle around as best I can and make it happen. How often do you do lives regularly, or just now and then, or?
I do have something called Thriving Thursdays. It's at 7 o'clock Eastern time in my group. And so I do try to go in live or provide something within my group as a resource at that point. And so, it did get paused for a while through the holiday season, but I am starting that back up now. And so I usually just try to go in, do a live, do some kind of, tip or meditation or something. It's something to just give to my team, my group there. And so, that would be a great time if you're free. I know that might be a little
It's
bit later on your side, but
it's midnight. It's midnight.
But we can certainly we could certainly try to go a little earlier. And the other thing I do want to say, you were talking about some resources. One of the things that I offer on my website is an anxiety guide. So it's 10 ways to soothe yourself instantly in the moment. And so it's just a quick resource to download. It's a 3-page workbook that has just 10 quick tips to offer yourself some soothing touch and soothing, resources, different ways, not just soothing touch, but some other ways to just reduce anxiety, because, so often we have anxiety that can come about, or even stress really quickly. And so
what's the web address?
To do that.
What's the web address?
Heather, it's heatherklemanski.com.
Okay.
And so that's Heather, Heather, Klemanski, KLEMANSKI.com.
Okay. Is that an Eastern European heritage?
I'm Polish. So yes, I am Polish. Absolutely.
Also,
I can't speak it.
No, I've got a friend called Lena Levinsky. Yeah, Lena is a podcaster, and she loves to get immigrants onto a program to inspire other immigrants, stories of success and that sort of thing, and interesting life journeys and that sort of thing. So I'd love to put you in touch with Lena. And she actually comes to my, I got a mastermind every Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time, which would be 5 hours ahead. It would be 9, I think, either 9 or 10 on a Sunday. But we all meet up, quite a few Americans on there, Brits and Europeans, and an Aussie guy now and then. I call it Strong Communicators, and it don't cost anything. It's free, and you can just come along and we all mastermind together, help each other to grow and all that sort of thing. So if you want to come on there, Lena comes onto that as well, or if not, I can always link you together. But you would definitely make a great podcast guest for her as well. And also a really good friend of mine is a chap called Paul Smolinski as well. So that's why I knew it was Eastern European.
I love it. I would love to attend Mastermind. I'm all about those, collective consciousness, as we call it, right? And so I think when you bring a group of people together, there's magic in that. And, there's so many things that can happen. So I am all in. Thank you. I really appreciate your generosity. You are so amazing. And I'm so thankful to have met you through Clubhouse. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No problem at all. And I'm at Mike Armstrong on Clubhouse, as we mentioned it a few times. You might as well get that in. Are you at Heather Klemanski on Clubhouse?
Just Heather K. I'm at Heather K.
Heather K, that'll be easier for some of the people who aren't very good at dealing with Eastern European or European names. I'm pretty good at it as a European. I'm pretty good at it, even though I'm an English-speaking European. I'm pretty good at understanding Spanish and French and Italian and Greek and German and Polish and Eastern European, Russian and different names. And you can tell I watch a lot of sports, so I watch a lot of nationalities competing. So I know what the names are like from the different parts of the Europe and stuff. But
one of the I was going to say, well, one of the benefits of being early on to Clubhouse is that I got to actually choose an easy name and get to do something where I didn't have to do something like, you normally always end up with having to do like a couple extra X's or apostrophe or something in there to make a name. But this time I got to choose a quick and simple name, so that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, so
another benefit of coming onto Clubhouse. There's so many, but this is such an amazing platform to connect with people and to grow. So
yeah. Well, check out my Facebook group, which is called Strong Communicators, and I post in social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, under the hashtag Strong Communicators. I use hashtags for everything. So Strong Communicators, the group on LinkedIn and Facebook. Join the group. I've got a messenger, like a unique messenger thing. Connect with me on Facebook, friend me, and then I can add you to our group chat if you like. Yeah. So we do regular chat throughout the week as well as the weekly meetings. As soon as everyone's on Clubhouse, I'm probably going to do it on Clubhouse, and then invite more people to it. So it's going to be like a major event when it comes on Clubhouse, because it's such a good community. It's like the best of the 250 people I've had on my podcast over the last, year. It's all of those, the best people. When I say the best, everyone's equal, everyone's great. So these are great communicators, but also great personal development people, and also people who give back. That's what I mean when they're great. They're great people, heart-centered entrepreneurs who want to help each other. And so the growth rate between that, everyone's contributing rather than maybe some people sucking away. So it keeps the energy flowing, which is really, really good. And
I'm always happy if you ever, want to start a group off with a meditation, a short one, or even longer. I'm happy to, start it off to set the mindset and, get things going. I have, we were talking earlier about gratitude. We can do a practice of gratitude. I think that's always a beautiful way to, remind it, gratitude can be done formally as well, and bring appreciation into your life of, the moments of your life and of your body and of the people. So I'm always happy to practice and lead something. So if ever that comes up, I'm happy to do something for you.
Well, I've actually been thinking about, because I spoke a keynote speech today on my happiness formula, and I've talked about it a few times on my podcast today, just because it was in my mind, because I've just done a keynote this morning. I'm thinking about when I finish this, going on to Clubhouse and doing a smart happiness formula room. So I can ping you into that. And then if you want to do a bit of mindfulness or meditation or gratitude or anything in there, I'm more than happily do that. So if you want to do that, let's make it happen.
Let's do it. I'm all in.
Okay, brilliant.
I love it.
So and your Facebook group is Mind Your Mark?
That's correct. Mind Your Mark.
Brilliant. And I'm going to join that as well. Not now, because we've got a happiness formula group to get into. But if you want to do have you done any Mind Your Mark events yet in Clubhouse?
I have not hosted anything. I was a moderator a couple of times. There was a group that was going on about self-compassion, and it was like, I have to join. Self-compassion is my jam, right? So I was, I jumped on, and as soon as I started speaking, they made me a moderator. And so we ended up doing some coaching with several people for a few hours. People just kind of jumped on and talked about how they were, having some trouble with, meeting themselves with these challenges. And so, just kind of giving some feedback on how you can meet yourself with self-compassion, and really what is self-compassion, right? Because, we're using this, catchy phrase, but there's really some science behind it and research of how really when you use self-compassion, that you're helping yourself with anxiety and depression and increasing life satisfaction. And it really is these three components that are helping you, which is mindfulness, right? You're bringing awareness to the fact that you're suffering and
Yeah.
having a painful moment, and the common humanity, that what links us is the fact that we all have moments of pain and suffering. And then the self-kindness, right, and treating yourself just like you would a friend. So yeah, I love how incredibly powerful self-compassion can be, and how when you use the practices within it, it can be really life-changing.
Yeah, I just remembered I had an appointment from earlier on today that I had to bump to 11 o'clock. So that's in 5 minutes, which means I won't be able to do
Sure.
the happiness room until 12 o'clock midnight, my time.
Okay.
So, or maybe about quarter to, something like that. But I'll set it up and I'll add you in. And
Okay.
and will you be just listening? You won't be hosting any rooms or anything. You'll just be listening. You can join in then when I ping you. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll do
Yeah, I'll
that.
jump on, and I'll jump on the stage with you, and
Yeah.
be happy to lead and chat about it with you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Brilliant.
that would be perfect. That gives
Yeah.
me a chance to take care of a few things around the house, and then hop on and feed the addiction of the
Yeah.
beauty of Clubhouse, right?
Yeah, I love it. Like that's why I said like midnight's no problem to me, because I'm doing like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So whereas before midnight might have been like, oh no, I wouldn't want to do it then. You're doing your 7 o'clock live midnight. That's like early. That's like I haven't even got into the wee hours at that time. So yeah, happily do that. For the right causes, I'd stay up till I stay up for a week for the right cause. To be honest with you,
Absolutely.
So
Same here.
what do you about that? Like,
Same here.
but
I agree, and it really is such an amazing cause, and that's when I say feed the addiction of it. It's the nurturing of connection and in people, and that's so important.
yeah.
So I agree 100%.
So I look forward to seeing you. Anything so it's coming up to 11 o'clock now UK time. Okay, so my podcast episodes are 30 minutes to 45 minutes long normally, sometimes up to an hour. So anything from midnight, which is in an hour's time, anything from like 15 minutes before that till maybe midnight or just gone will be when I'll set up the room. So so yeah, thank you very much for a great chat, for just being awesome, and for doing some great work. And if ever you want to set up a room named after your group, your Mind Your Mark room, then just make me a joint moderator as well, and I'll help. I got quite a lot of followers who follow me around because they know I give good value. So I can help you fill the room and stuff, because that's what most people are worried about, is whether they can fill a room. That's the
Yes.
reason why I'm on there all the time, is to keep building up an audience so I can help the people fill rooms and fill my own rooms and stuff. Because I'll join a room just with me and you. I don't care. I'll get value out of that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And just with me and one other random person I don't know, I'll get value out of that. But it is always good if you can help more people and make the room interesting. But parties are good just with 2 people. They can be great with 3, 5 people, 10 people. It doesn't matter how many people in the room. What matters is who's in the room and the quality of the people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And I'm looking forward to it, and can't wait to get in and talk with you about this happiness formula tonight. But yes, I will be sure to start up a Mind Your Mark room and ask you to be a co-moderator, because I think that we have so much to share in this joint effort of mindfulness and happiness and self-compassion. So
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. And for me, your late afternoons and early evenings is a good time for me, because then that's night time for me. So I don't have so many commitments in night time. My own time is my own time. Whereas, daytime, I got more commitments, So, and usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are good, or weekends. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, or weekends, because Thursdays and Fridays, I usually got a lot on,
That's absolutely perfect. That really aligns with my schedule as well. So I think this will work out perfectly. And I think that we're off to a beautiful start here and going to create some magic.
Brilliant. Okay, right, that's it then. So there's nothing else really left for me to say now other than have a great day. Thanks for coming on. I know I'm going to have a great day, and thanks everyone for listening. Cheers.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.